All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the Based in Cringe podcast. I am Max, and that is Cyber. And today, Cyber, what is our topic of choice for our first ever episode on the Based in Cringe podcast?
Well, instead of just going straight to it, most we it's the first episode. We gotta just kind of
Well,
we
we
gotta
gotta
give them a little
introduce
taste.
ourselves.
Introduce ourselves. You just kind of zoomed over that. We'll start with
No,
you. We'll start with you. You can go first.
well, you may all not might know me, y'all may not, depending on if you watch Cyber or you watch me. But you got me over at Twitch at twitch.tv uh, /Max D Legend, but instead of an L, it's an I because I'm confusing that way, and well, you're just gonna have to deal with it. Or you
Link
can
link will be in the description for both of our channels. Yeah,
in YouTube
because it's
and or
fucking
Twitch, hopefully.
yeah, because it's gonna be fucked either way. So,
Yeah, and
um.
then you'll probably have the link to your Discord, or are we gonna make?
Probably mine, since I think mine would be just a little bit more relevant, even though it's
Yeah, I can.
not. But it's that's
Yeah,
that's its own spiel. And
future
me,
things for Discord for me comes later or tonight maybe,
if you
depending.
if you get motivation for it, you can gladly do that. All right.
Yeah, definitely not.
Okay, I'll go with me now. My name's Cyber, except with a 5 in it because it's the cleanest thing I could get as a Minecraft username, and I just kept it that way. I have 109 subs on YouTube. I'm famous. I'm insane. Yeah, and this has been delayed for crazy because I'm a bum ass and I'm just lazy. So yeah,
Yeah, we
we're
know.
here now. This is happening.
It's happening. It's already started, so
So
I
yeah,
guess we I guess we got to get into the realm of imagination, even though we don't have any of that.
and we're basically just gonna wing it. We're gonna find based in cringe shit all the time. We're just gonna we're gonna basically just call shit out, expose shit that shouldn't be alive or existing. So, and first episode, as it says in the title, is just a normal pilot, referring to, if you don't know, if you don't, you're an idiot. Pilots are what first episodes are called on almost every TV show, and that brings
And
us to the
and
topic we got, which
yes.
is which is just bad TV shows overall. Just there's some bad TV shows. Like they don't even last a season. Like it's just really bad. Like sometimes the cast, like it's like just bombs at certain places, like movie bombs. You got that with TV shows as well.
Yes.
So I don't.
Or there's just some like really bad TV shows that's had like some really good pilots, but
I mean, pilots and specifically, I don't really keep track of pilots. I don't watch a lot of new shows. I rewatch the same shows, and probably the and lots of sitcoms. The best pilot I'd have to say would be from that '70s show, most likely. Um, it was made in the I think it was made in late '80s, early '90s. It's like these high schoolers, and basically they're at like their parents' party, like just sitting in the basement. That's basically the whole premise of the show. To start, they just sit in the basement, just do dumb shit. Um, Basically what it is they their son, like the most shy guy, the most innocent guy, they're trying to peer pressure him into getting them beer. And it's like, just like make it like, make sure they're cold, like make sure they're cold, like just all these tasks. Runs upstairs, like he's in like a schoolboy outfit, like he doesn't belong there. He doesn't fit in. Um, and basically he has to just go up, and he runs into his dad, Red Foreman. Yeah, you've never seen the show, have you?
No, I have not because I really don't watch reality TV shows that much. So,
I guess. But yeah, my mom introduced me to the show. I've watched the only it's good ever since the last season. The last season, just don't watch. It's horrible. Don't recommend that. And he has to go up and get beers. He grabs beers. They're not cold, by the way. Um, and he runs to his dad. His dad's like, a really strict, like ex-military, like basically he can kill like anyone he wants to pretty much, and he'd be okay with it. Very Republican as well. Um, yeah, and he's like, "What you doing there, bub? What you doing? Hmm?" And then he's like, he like has like a major voice crack. And that starts it off. It's pretty funny as like a high schooler watching it because it's like I bet if it were back then I'd have the same conversation.
Bro, the amount of like teenagers that I know were just people in my class that have just drink is like unbelievable. Like you expect, well, coming from the Catholic school, that's just normal. Like you got your own set, you got the Catholic schools who drink, and then you got the public schools that smoke. It's
That's
like
mine's a very mixture of
Mhm.
both. Like my specific grade is really bad in the sense like you got the nerds, you got the dumbasses like who do like all that dumb shit. And then you
Yeah,
got like the cocky ones. And my grade has like a perfect balance of all three.
that's nice.
And it's like,
Ours is basically people who drink or people that like have like those Vuse pens and vape. Like
oh,
that's about it. Or you have people like in my friend group that we pretty much just invite each other to our house and we just have a great time. We don't need drugs because we're already like the funniest people on the face of the planet.
that's exactly how it goes. Like when I go out with the boys, dude, it's a whole different night, dude. Like 90% of people would think you're drunk or on something, but that's just
But
how it
no.
works. Like it's just how it
It's
works.
just a natural like explanation that if you are like if the more men that you add into a room, the combined IQ just lowers.
It's not even
Like
that. It's just like the long like it's by age, it's by how long you know them and by how many there are, like you said.
yeah.
So like the main group I go with, we've all known each other for 6, 7 years now, and it progressively gets worse as the night goes on. I've gotten so many headaches when I come back home. I'm just like, I want to die. Like
I
just
don't necessarily have the headache problem. We'll just like me and my friends will do games and stuff and then we'll end up somehow all we always end up like if we're at someone's house and it's like they have a small basement, we'll always end up watching Phineas and Ferb. And I
just
don't
that.
know. Yeah, we'll just end up watching some form of Phineas and Ferb. Like the first time we ended up watching the movie, like the multiverse movie, and then like the second time we just ended up watching like the entirety of season 1 for absolutely no reason.
See, you do it a little differently than my friends do. Basically, all we do, like none of us like staying inside just doing nothing. So basically, we just have people driving around for multiple hours at a time. Yeah, gas prices, blah blah. We don't really give a shit about that. We drive around for hours. We scream and yell songs. We just yell at each other for saying dumb and gay shit at each other because like I have a friend who's you remember Carter, right?
Yeah,
The
dude.
stereotypical ginger who's pretty dumb. He he makes a lot of homosexual remarks towards the driver who drives most of the time. We just yell at him all the time to
The
shut the fuck up, dude. Like it's awesome. And then the worst time, can I say a story similar to how you guys watch Phineas and Ferb real quick?
Sure.
So it was like one time, like it's winter in Iowa, like it's fucking cold. Um, so so they were like, "Hey, you want to hang and grill? It's 10 degrees out." They were like, "You guys, you want to grill?" And I was like, "No, not really." And he's like, "Come on, come with us. We're gonna watch a movie." It's outside in his garage. There's like, oh, the wind chill's like 0 degrees. So I'm sitting there in shorts because I didn't think we were actually gonna do it. So I'm there, I'm freezing my ass off in his garage. They're grilling, and the worst part, the only movie that they could get to work on the TV in their garage was Puss in Boots.
Nice.
So I got to watch Puss in Boots while my friend was trying to fucking grill pork chops in 0 degree weather.
Nice. I can do another test to the grilling story. This was like right after our last finals last year, like
For what,
right
like,
after
sport?
uh finals for
Oh,
like
finals, like
school.
tests. I'm
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, finals. Like right after we were like right after junior year, we're going me and my friend Austin, who also happens to be a junior, come up with the idea that we're gonna have a grill party in the school parking lot, like right after school when we're done. So
That's that's just Catholic school, man. You never
like
know what happens.
the worst part is like we had this really like we would have the what was it athletics director. He would come down to our parking lot where we would park at, since we park in the most probably the countryest parking lot in existence that no one cares about. It's like just you had to, it takes 5 minutes to walk from the parking lot to school. That's how far away it is
Is it
from the
just
actual school.
is it just a fucking lot in the middle of nowhere?
Basically, well, there's a road right next to it that's like the school owns, but for some reason it's just like not even connected to anything. It's just there. And then
So
like
is it school grounds still, or
yeah, it is. So
bruh?
so apparently the former athletics director got like knew that Austin's brother and his friends had the exact same idea a few years ago, and they actually were able to pull it off with grilling in the parking lot. So the next thing we know, the athletic director is just standing there, and like like the words come out of his mouth like, "Make sure to not get your grills out in the parking lot." I was like, "How would you know that two of us, like, at the most secret thing in existence, tonight
they
grill?"
they just kind of knew, I guess. Like, I mean,
Apparently, like,
who? What? The real question: what do you think gave it away?
I don't know. It had to been one of the girls that had even given it away in the group that were talking about it in the halls.
Oh, okay, I
Because
gotcha.
our athletic director was like the most awkward human being like to ever exist. Like he would
Is he
use
still the same one?
no, our new athletic director was our assistant principal.
Oh, okay,
So
gotcha.
no, this guy was like weird to the point where he'd use Ned Flanders vocabulary like anywhere he would go. He'd just like strike up a conversation with the most Ned Flanders vocabulary you'd ever hear. And then like you would look at him with a funny face and then he'd just like turn around and go, "Well, see you later." And like just dead ass and then just leave. It's like,
our
"Okay,
our AD, like we got a new AD like I think 2 years ago now. So our old AD was probably the most serious looking guy in our school. Like he was like probably like 45, 50. But like this is like a guy who like if you talk to this man, like he just like stare you and like you'd walk away. Like he's not one you mess with, but this one's like he tries to be friends with everyone, just like all cheery, and it's like, dude, shut up. We
that
don't
sounds like
care, dude. Like for
facts."
real.
Like
And it's
we're the students, we really don't.
and it's like we get that you do a lot of work, but it's like, good job. Where did that get you? You're
Exactly.
still working at school. And it's the same with my principal. Like my principal's probably like he's probably the least fit for a principal job. Like he has the opposite description you'd think. He
Of a principal.
I swear to God, he never he sounds like he never does his work. Like he's always just bantering about random ass shit all day long. Like
Nice.
it never stops. And over the intercom, he's like all cheery, like on a Monday, and I'm like, you realize it's a Monday, right?
Bruh, our athletic director would just like, since we had like the protocols for COVID last year, so they had to put like all of our cafeteria, like our actual tables downstairs in our old gym.
Hold the fuck downstairs. You guys,
Yeah.
oh, well, that's fucked. Ours did a similar thing, but like not at the same time. Go
Well,
on.
our gyms are like on a completely lower floor. Both for some reason, all three of the high schools in our city are built on a hill.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
that's
So
that's
our
that's fucked, dude.
So both of our gyms are built are like on a lower level compared to everything else. I mean,
Our
it's
our both of the school, like our middle school and our high school, and the new like eighth grade, ninth grade building that they just put up, are all in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like it's literally like a mile away from anything else. All three schools, there's nothing near any of them. So it's like I don't know why they did it, but like they just did. It's so weird. I don't know.
complete and utter logic.
And
Anyway,
it's
back
like hold on. Well, before we move on with that, I do. So the only time I ever had to go downstairs in a high school was at my middle school. Basically, they have new locker rooms, right? But
yeah,
in the gym, there were two doors. Those two doors led to locker rooms in downstairs. They were the most wretched,
yeah,
destroyed, rusted out locker rooms I've ever seen. There was like an old ass shower there too. Like
bro. Is it like
the
the
building's old as
dungeon?
fuck. It's literally like a dungeon.
It
Like
sounds like our locker rooms, like for our actual field house.
it's no like except this one was like we'd always make a joke like it's some like there's like a teacher that we all hated. There was like this is her hideout. She goes down here all the time.
Yeah.
No, if Dylan does listen to this, he would know what we're talking about. We go down there for tornado drills and shit. It's it's well because like it's the safest place to go because it's underground. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It was so bad. Like we'd all make fun of it because like I understand it's like probably an 80-year-old building, but goddamn, bro, it's so bad. It's rough. So let's see schools. Oh, we should talk about rich people schools.
Bruh.
Is that the one who goes to a Catholic school?
Yeah, the one that actually like parents pay for our tuition to go there instead of pay taxes, so we go there for free. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's we don't have a lot of those here in Iowa. We have
We have
some.
there's a few. There's one up in St. Louis that's $20,000 a year to go
Fuck.
there.
There's
I mean,
probably
it's an all male school, so you could see
oh
why, but like 20 grand a year, like mate, your football pro
that's like slightly under college tuition.
yeah, and their football program still gets absolute well, depending on which one of them actually has like one of the best like 2 years ago had like the best high school football program in the United States.
Jeez.
Is like I mean, if your freaking coaches are going out to other states and recruiting your football team to a high school, then I could see why.
That'd be such a weird thing. Like as personally, like if I were like I know I'm not good enough, but like in this situation, if someone was there to recruit me to a different high school, it'd be like, hold on, you're not college, right? No, you're going to another high school, man. It's like for another year, and it's like, oh,
Nice.
that's not what I wanted to
You
hear.
could just get good like the original public school that won 10 straight national championships without losing a single game.
That just sounds like that's I don't even know what the hell that sounds like. I've never heard that before. That's
Well,
just
the state champion. Our big oh, I wouldn't say big. Our big it was a 6A school, so it's like the top
oh
of the
man,
class.
so it's massive as fuck.
It was a massive school, and when it was when my grandpa was actually enrolled there, they won the national championship. Like it was a decade and a half of just them. They were undefeated, and for I think it was my grandpa's senior year
That's crazy.
homecoming parade, like it was this they were undefeated at 68 and 0. And during their homecoming game, they just happened to win 69 to nothing. It's
That's
like that's like the most scuffed.
that's so bro. That has to be boring, right? Like that has to get boring. I'm sorry.
Apparent apparently like my grandpa said some stories where they're like he was an offensive lineman and during the game they would get so far ahead of the other teams that he would play running back.
The
Just
coach.
no, my grandpa when he was an offensive lineman,
Oh,
he would
lineman.
the, the coach the coach at the time would just put him as running back because why not? Because if people haven't learned yet, the wishbone does not falter. You can't beat the wishbone formation, and for some reason, people don't use it. Like, you know how many championships, like, some Pac-12 teams could have if they just ran the wishbone? It's like, are you dumb? Because,
If
like,
you
it's
if
just
it doesn't if it works, don't fix it. Like
basically because not even, I don't think Nick Saban in his greatness could figure out how to stop the wishbone because you just can't.
bruh. That's scuffed. Something that's interesting. My school actually recently got bumped up in almost like to the highest school in or the highest class. I mean, in almost every single sport, boys and girls. Well, now back to this.
Welcome back. I am now returned from the dead.
After maybe 10 seconds, but that's besides the point. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
Well,
don't question it.
we'll get back on topic after our little football school all that BS rant. So TV shows. What's your favorite one?
My favorite TV show.
Is it that fucking one you're trying to get me to watch?
No, that is not my favorite TV show. That's just a really good show, but you still need to watch it.
I'm not, watch that, but that's fine. That's a different thing. What you got?
Uh, I'm gonna either go with. Well, you got.
Thank damn
Can I
it.
pick? Can I pick an anime in this? Does that count?
I mean, I won't know what it is, but I mean, here we'll do. You can say your favorite anime, but try and find like a TV show on
I mean,
itself.
TV like cartoon like. Can I go off of like Cartoon Network shows and stuff
Go.
like
I
that?
mean, go for it. I mean, just go for it. You can
Because
say your favorite anime and then say your favorite just show, whatever the hell it is.
well, anime it's got to be Hunter x Hunter, but that's about it for there. But like cartoon show, gotta be Adventure Time because
That's I never watched that as a kid. I don't know why. I never watched that.
it's such a good show. I don't know,
Well,
like
I saw episodes of it, but I don't think it appealed to me as a kid.
honestly, you could watch it right now on Hulu and like you could just catch up on it.
I could watch any Cartoon Network show on like any platform probably right now and just be fine.
You probably could. I've like rewatched the entire last season of regular show on it because Hulu is great.
Speaking of regular show, that is my favorite Cartoon Network show. Uh, with Amazing World of Gumball coming slight behind it.
I never see you never thought about Adventure Time. I just never got behind the Amazing World of Gumball.
I I don't know either. To be fair, I just remember what those were the two shows I remember watching the most, and regular show stuck. Regular show was like, how do I phrase this? It was kind of like the most like badass show on Cartoon Network. Like if you watch regular show, like you knew what was up, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's just kind of how it was. And then there was just like all the other ones. Like Adventure Time was another. Those were probably the three like stars of Cartoon Network, right?
I wouldn't put Gumball as a star of
Well,
Cartoon Network.
what were the other ones?
The big three I gotta put there is Adventure Time, regular show, and then the original Teen Titans.
Okay, I was actually starting to think Teen Titans. I didn't mind the new one. I'm gonna be real. As a kid, I didn't mind the
Mm,
new one, but granted, I didn't know the old one existed. But
no, because the new one's like really bad
here,
compared
let
to
me.
the
I'm
old one.
actually gonna pull up a list of Cartoon Network shows because I am really curious what we can go off of.
I mean, Cartoon Network still has the rights for Pokemon, but we don't
I mean
question that
that
part.
it's Pokemon. The anime's always shit for Pokemon. That's that's its own thing.
Yeah, that just
Let's
exists.
see. Adventure Time, Teen Titans Go. I never watched Ninjago. I
That
know
was that was a great show.
I watched bits and pieces. I never understood it though. I never did.
Uh,
Brady's like, you need to.
Like for a show like a Lego like cartoon that never got a game, they honestly did really well with it.
They did have it. I've always heard that show was like fire as fuck though.
Oh, it is.
Like I've heard it's really good. But the main thing I watched on any platform as a kid was Beyblade, and I've rewatched that entire quote unquote anime three whole times.
Which one? Like the really good one that's not
So okay, so
first?
this is me going on Beyblade rant. So you got Metal Fusion,
Metal Fusion and Metal Fury are the
no,
only two that you need to watch.
no.
Blade Burst are absolutely god awful.
Beyblade Burst sucks as a whole, but Metal Fusion, Metal Masters, Metal Fury, and then Shogun Steel were fine. Those
Shogun Steel.
it's like the fucking double ones, like you could do like the double wheel thing.
I was just saying the Shogun Steel is like Power Rangers, mate.
Is do you know what I'm talking about? I don't know if you do or not. Look it up real quick. So basically, it basically turned Beyblade into like you could put the two like metal wheels on like two of
Oh,
them.
I never watched Shogun's.
I
I
only
never
wa-
watched Shogun
I
Steel.
only watched it because I was like, oh, what is this? And then I watched it. It wasn't that bad. It's not as good as the original three though.
No,
Yeah, no, I've rewatched that entire thing three times, three whole times, 160 episodes.
bro, it's like me watching Hunter x Hunter like 3 times.
And now that we're talking about it, I might actually watch that again, but that's besides the point. Back to Cartoon Network
I,
shows.
I mean,
Bakugan kind of sucked.
yeah.
It the whole
Well,
concept of it
considering
was fine.
the original Beyblades came out in the 90s, and then you have just Bakugan that came out early 2000s, it's like, okay.
You took like a similar idea, not similar, like style, and then put that together.
It basically took like this really bad version of Beyblades and then can try to put it with Yu-Gi-Oh, and it just failed.
I wouldn't say it failed. It did fine. Like they made decent money off it, but it's nobody remembers it. Like nobody.
But the best you can't deny that the best anime and or TV show made off of an actual like product that came out before the TV show is Yu-Gi-Oh.
I've never watched or played anything with Yu-Gi-Oh related. That is one
Bro,
thing I never grew up on. Is that
the first Yu-Gi-Oh like adaptation, like the first before they got into like after original Yugi's arc, like fire. And then they went over to the other like seasons and
I don't know. I just liked Beyblade because like, but there's by far like one character that always stood out in like the Metal series. You remember Ryuga, right? The guy who like
yes, who doesn't
Drago guy.
El Drago.
Like that was by far like the only reason I ever watched the show three times was just because every time he was on screen, like it was so good. Like I don't know.
I literally had like I want to say two El Drago like different versions of it, and then my mom decided that she was gonna sell like all of our Beyblades because we didn't use them like ever.
I think all mine are in my garage somewhere. I'm gonna be real.
Well, I had this like there was like this one set for it that came with this like blue stadium that had interchangeable discs at the middle of it. Like
Discs.
they were just these plastic discs that you could take out and like had different groove parts
Oh,
to it.
okay. I see.
And it came with like some sort of like stone El Drago and then like some sort of different Pegasus variant. And I don't think the Pegasus lasted like 2 weeks before like the rubber top
Oh,
part that they
the
use.
rubber performance tip thing came out.
Yeah, that it no, it didn't give out. It like somehow got pushed in further into the thing, so it was like even with the plastic bit that goes around the tip. It's like,
Huh.
okay, now how am
How
I
the
supposed to
fuck
use
does
it?
that happen?
I don't know. I don't know if it was like my little brother like pressed on it one day and it just like he
That's hard
accidentally
to
switched.
do. Like that
Yeah,
you can't do that just by launching it. Like you can't that doesn't happen.
Unless I really got a really bad version of it, but the El Drago worked really nice. But the El Drago's performance tip was like the same way as the Pegasus one, but it was plastic, like full plastic
Well, to
instead
be
of
fair, they were really unoriginal with like those performance tips and like
yeah.
the original ones. Speaking of I remember my first ever Beyblade. It was like a dual pack with the Pegasus and El Drago or whatever. I feel like it. I don't know if I don't think it was that rare, but it was like a golden, and then there's red El Drago. You know,
Mine was like completely like golden brown. It's like, what is this?
like mine was the color gold, and then there was red on it, and then the Pegasus one that I had was blue and red. So they looked really cool, but then I remember the performance tip just fucking like the rubber like came out like you know how yours pushed in, mine just fell out.
And I feel like that was only a problem with the Pegasus because they were the only ones that used rubber tips.
Oh no, the only ones that'll ever have trouble are the rubber ones, and that's because
And
like
it was and like the weird thing was it wasn't like the rounded ones, it was those weird serrated looking things.
yeah,
And
there's
then like
some fucked ones.
and then there's like all the other Beyblades that have like the rounded one, and then you have like I think it was not Capricorn, but Sagittarius, like still had those like weighted balls on the outside.
There was
But
one that literally has a ball bearing in it that literally makes it like hella good.
yeah, it's Sagittarius. I believe that's
No,
Sagittarius. I
well,
think
the one with the ball bearing isn't, but the one with like I know what you're thinking of. I don't
there
know
was
which one it's
also,
called though.
is it black and like had like these three eye imprints in the because
Three
I'm
I can't think of it.
it was like some scorpion like type one.
Was it fucking like Cancer? No.
No, Cancer is a crap.
No, you're thinking of Sagittario, aren't you?
No, this is like this one was like completely black. It was like the character didn't show up till like the very end, like before like the constellation arc, or like it may have been like during it.
What was there a was it in the show?
Yes, it was. It like
Oh
I
wait, oh you're thinking
I,
of
th I think it
Destroyer, Gravity Destroyer, right?
yeah, I was
That's
thinking
the
like
one.
in the show like its ability was that it could like switch which way it spins.
Oh,
Like
that whole spiel is like they introduced that then. It was like they enhanced that by like 1000 in like
I
the
know, I
next
was like,
series. I was like, dude, make it
bruh.
simple.
And
But
then there's that weird ass freaking then there's a constellation arc that made absolutely zero sense. And
I mean,
then
it was a cool concept though. I'm gonna be real. It was a pretty cool concept. But that's besides the point. We'll move on from that. One show that always sucked was Clarence.
oh hey that is pure facts.
That show sucked.
That show is pretty bad.
It was so bad, dude.
That was like the epitome of like Cartoon Network took a like either a kid that like just an average kid or like some dumbass or like a kid that had special needs and put him in a show.
You threw a 9-year-old in a show, made him fat, made him derpy, and made him have zero IQ, and you threw him into a show. That's all you did. Like that's like all it was. Like there was nothing else to it.
Yeah.
Um, Another show. I didn't mind this show, by the way. This show wasn't actually that bad when it first came out. We Bear Bears was not that bad. Did you ever watch that?
Watched a little bit of it.
I watched probably like the first season. Like, dude, my nose is killing me right now. Sorry. um, it's it wasn't. It's not. It's like a really simple show. Like you got like the talkative one. You got the one that's always on his phone. You got like the one that just has like magical powers. Like the one that like just like is like fast as fuck. Knows like hella karate, black belt. Could beat you in a fight. Like no fucking problem. Like I don't know.
That's because it's Ice Bear because he's just that good.
Ice Bear just like built different, man.
He
Like
is
dude, for
built
real.
different. He's just different, man.
Like I don't know. The panda was just bad.
Can I like go back to the Beyblade topic of how why the hell there's the Beyblades with the elongated shafts?
Those ones,
Yes, those really odd looking like tower looking things is like
like the really tall ones, right?
yes, like the
Okay, so
really tall
there's
ones.
oh fuck, there was only two of those ever to exist. There were two Beyblades to ever exist who ever had that tall ass like spin track.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. My grandma went to a garage sale once and she bought like the four like older boys like all Beyblades and like we got to choose like which ones that we wanted. And I kid you not, like these were the oldest Beyblades that you've ever seen. Like
Oh,
these are like 90s Beyblades. And I'm not gonna kid you. My cousin got this one that had a literal spring in it.
hold
Like
on. A literal spring inside of it.
they're in between the actual metal and like metal plate and performance tip. There was a spring mechanism that was inside of it. And I have no idea what the purpose of it was for.
I'm looking at. I looked up Beyblade with spring. There's nothing. It's all Beyblade burst BS.
Because it's
Huh.
uh,
That's so weird. Actually, I never knew that. That's crazy. Actually,
I know it's like if you look at the old Beyblades, they are the most
here,
rugged
let me look up
things in
old
exist.
Beyblades. Let's look up
Like
old Beyblades.
look up 90s Beyblades. Like they are the most rugged looking things in existence.
I
And these
bet they
things,
are.
if you try to pick these up when they were spinning, by God, they hurt your hands.
Were they all plastic?
Yes, they're plastic at the top, but they still had that thin metal plate in them, like thinner than
It
it
was
was in like
very thin,
metal.
right? Very thin.
Yes, it was in an octagonal shape for some reason.
Oh
Like
wait, I might. So there's like these. So it's like, oh, this is so weird. I think I know which one you're talking about now. Why would
yeah,
it have a fucking? So it was between like the what was it between again?
uh, it was it was between the tip itself. It was like this orange Beyblade that was like extra tall and it had like a yellow base with like the weird piston mechanism. It's like
Huh.
why?
If I can find it, I'll flash it on the screen right now because I this might be the right one. But oh no, man, that sounds so fucked though. I remember. Oh, what the hell? There were, dude, they're expensive now. Beyblades.
That wouldn't be surprising.
Like, well, they don't get made anymore, obviously, because
Yeah,
it's a discontinued thing. But
and
there's certain ones that sell for hundreds of dollars, like certain limited edition ones. Like,
well,
holy fuck.
they dropped the complete ball when they tried to make Beyblade burst. Like that was just a terrible
Well,
marketing decision
there's
on whoever.
people. I understand the concept, right? It's just I don't know why they did it. Like it was just bad. Like I didn't watch it. I knew like after seeing just anything about it, it looks shit. And it's all they
Yeah,
sell. Like it's all they sell because I bet people do actually like it. Like it makes sense. Like it's a good concept and you can like what you want, but it was just
yeah.
compared to the first what they did before, it was dog shit. Just straight on dog shit.
I don't know, I'm on
Um
eBay right now, and it looks like most of like the original like Metal Fury Beyblades aren't going for too bad.
well, I mean that if you want like it like in like a package, like even if it's like not like 100% like the real thing, it's still going to be like $20 for just one usually,
Yeah, just a
which
second.
oh shit. We'll be back. Hell
My
yeah.
mom was yelling at me because I needed to go get a sandwich.
Okay, and we're back. Um
Oh, you gotta
There,
leave that part in there where I said
I'll leave that in there. I'll just leave. My mom was yelling at me for a sandwich.
my
Okay,
mom was yelling at me because I had to go get a sandwich. It's like,
okay. One show that we're going back to Cartoon Network. This has gone to a Cartoon Network judgment thing. One show,
yes.
in my opinion, that sucked, but everyone loved was Steven Universe.
Now I'm gonna have to put a little bit of my own bias in it, but the first half of Steven Universe was pretty good, and then a whole bunch of really bad topics got put into it, and it just completely ruined the show. And also, the fandom is god awful.
You know, I tried watching it a couple times. I just never liked it, man. I never did. It never was that funny. It was never like anything that great, right? I don't know if this one was on Cartoon Network, but do you remember? Do you ever watch fuck Johnny Test?
Yes, that was a Cartoon Network show.
It was okay.
Both Johnny Test and Johnny Quest, but Johnny Quest came out like ages ago. Like that was an old ass show. And then there's Johnny Test, whatever that train wreck of.
I found it interesting just because it was something different, like it was different compared to
Oh, it was
everything else.
different, but it just doesn't grasp me of why.
Another one was Ben 10 was fucking weird.
Bro, that was a great show. Like the first one, and then they had like the other one where he was like older. Like those are the only two that you watch, and then they try to completely revamp it, and they failed terribly. Like there's the old one from like 2000, like I think it's older than I am. Let me look it up.
Okay, well, excluding
Yeah.
that, I'm going through IMDb now, and one weird show that I didn't mind. I didn't watch a lot of it. I only rented it on DVD, I think, once or twice. Was like the animated Transformer movies.
What?
So you know how like they made like really weird like animated Transformers, like those
Yeah,
shows?
back in the 70s.
No, they made these in like early 2000s too.
Hmm.
And there was one in particular that I watched that I actually really liked, and I don't remember what it was. I just remember a couple scenes, but it was solid, man. It was pretty good. Oh shit. Here's one that I've always liked. Tom and Jerry, man.
Bro, that's just a vibe.
That's just a classic right there. You can't beat Tom and Jerry, dude. Like it's just it hits different.
Along with Looney Tunes.
I wouldn't count that as a Cartoon Network thing, though. I'm gonna be real. It doesn't. I don't think it ever was. Right?
No, it was. I'm pretty sure
It was.
Looney Tunes was like only on Cartoon Network for, well, at least for most of it, but it had to been on other ones since it's so old that it had to be like on, like, since it's probably older than my dad,
Yeah.
like other TV stations besides that before Cartoon Network probably bottom out.
Yeah. Um. What's it called? I'm tempted to. Did you ever? I watched PBS Kids as a show too, as well as like a whole thing.
Yes, like
PBS Kids or whatever.
there was only a few shows that were decent
That was
at
when
least.
I was like younger, like
But
really
then you
young.
just go to Nickelodeon, and then you got Fairly Odd Parents, Hey Arnold,
This is really bad on my end. I
SpongeBob.
never I never watched Nickelodeon anything.
Bruh,
I've never well okay, well I've seen clips of SpongeBob and all that shit. I've never actually watched SpongeBob.
you had no childhood.
Oh no, I had a childhood, all right.
Apparently not a good one.
Just not the one with SpongeBob in it.
Yeah, apparently you didn't have a good childhood at all.
I had a just fine childhood, just not the one with fucking SpongeBob in it, bro. I swear, man, it's
You
I
can't have a
I it's fine without it. I don't. I understand the appeal. I just never watched Nickelodeon because that was the only thing that was ever good on it that I remember
But
ever seeing. I never watched anything else.
you wouldn't know who Nigel Thornberry was if it weren't for Cartoon Network. Hell, do you even know what Ren and Stimpy is?
Oh, I've heard that. I've heard it before. I'm not
Now
gonna lie, I've heard it.
that is base Nickelodeon. That is like before my time Nickelodeon, and it's still good. Like that was millennial Nickelodeon right there.
No, I only watched PBS Kids, Cartoon Network, and then probably Disney movies.
Well, it's Disney movies. Who didn't watch Disney movies
Well,
as a
that's
kid?
that's why I said that. I watched them as a kid, you dumbass. I watched them as a kid, so I did that.
These are like the most stereotypical topics.
Exactly, and we're doing good so far. We're doing good, man. That first half was a little rough, but we did better. We're doing
We
better.
we we got to it.
All right, we're going to PBS Kids now because fuck it, why not? Classic, Curious George.
I have no say against that. That's just like if you watch the movie, then you gotta watch the show.
Bro, the movie was really good. Like,
I know the movie is 10 times better than the show.
but the show is still good.
It's still pretty decent.
Like, to be fair, I don't know why the movie, like, if I watched it now, I'd probably still say it's pretty good. I don't know why the movie's so good. I really don't. Like, I couldn't
It
tell you
shouldn't
why it's good.
it shouldn't be as good as it is, but it's still like really good out and it
Like,
doesn't make any sense.
it's just kind of like you watch the movie and it's just like there's not a lot happening, but
Yeah.
it's just you just kind of know it's a good movie, I guess. There's not a lot to say about it. The show is just kind of a vibe though.
Yeah.
Like the show is just like it's there, you watch it if it's on, you enjoy it. That's about it. What's another one I think? Dinosaur Train, dude.
That was pretty decent.
The only reason I ever really cared about it is because what they do. They did like the three regions. What was
Yeah.
it? Like the three periods of like when dinosaurs were alive.
Yeah, it was going through
And
like the Paleolithic, like
it was like the
it was
Cretaceous, I don't know what they were, but there was
Jurassic.
Jurassic. There was one more. The only reason I ever remember anything about that show is because they would never go to like one specific one. I don't know which one it
Yeah, it
was.
was they always went back and forth between like the two and they just like
There
forgot
was
about one.
there was always the one they would never go to, like ever. Like it was just there. They would never go there. It was just like, bruh, if you're gonna have it there, do something with it. Like for real, man.
Facts.
Um, one that kind of
Thomas the Train was that PBS or
that was its own deal, wasn't it? That was on Cartoon Network, actually. I think wasn't it?
what was it? I don't
Hold
remember.
on. Was the Thomas the Tank Engine show on Cartoon Network? Let's find out. That's a whole different thing. Uh, it did have Tom. Yeah, it did.
All right.
Other than I don't think it was there the whole time. I think it was there for parts of it. But dude, it all changed when their mouth started to move. When they finally
That
hold
oh
on.
God. There's what is that show called where they were just the planes with those creepy ass
Oh,
faces?
what was it? It was literally called Planes, wasn't it?
It may have been just called Planes, and then Disney finally decided to make a movie called Planes, and it was 10 times better because the
Oh
faces
wait.
that went on the planes were like not
No,
human.
I don't remember that then. I don't. I was gonna say there was a there was one
Teletubbies.
movie. Never watched Teletubbies. I found them creepy.
That is facts.
I mean, if you don't find Teletubbies at least somewhat creepy, because do you realize how tall those things are?
I know it's a man in a suit.
No, like those suits are huge
I
without the
know they're
man.
chonguses.
Like, I saw a photo recently on how tall a Teletubby suit is compared to like a human who's like probably 6 foot. Dude, that thing is like fucking massive.
You
Like,
just gotta like assert your dominance.
just slaps the Teletubby. This like bitch slaps the
Yeah,
Teletubby.
like what are they supposed to do?
They can't reach. their
Facts.
their head's too big. Um, I was gonna say about Thomas the Tank Engine. There was one movie I always watched. It was like Hero on the Rails or something. It was
Hmm.
like Thomas the Tank Engine, Hero on the Rails. There was like it was basically the story about how Thomas like lost this race to like this like it's like this cocky arrogant one that was faster than everybody.
Bro, it sounds like the plot of Cars 2 or any Cars movie.
Exactly. And he shut dude. Let me let me finish. No, so then they find this. They basically find this train that's just rotting in like a fucking forest. Like one singular train track. It's just
Oh, so
going in the
it's
forest.
Cars, but they also included real steel into it. Got it.
No, so basically he's just sitting there rotting. So throughout this, like they're trying to keep it a secret. So they're just trying to move parts from there to there without anyone noticing what the hell's happening. So then basically they do that and they find him. So then he has to leave, like it's still broken down to shit. So then he has to leave, breaks down, and then gets himself like fixed, and now he's like the fastest and strongest thing ever.
Nice. Have you ever heard of the movie Astro Boy? It was a cartoon movie.
That movie I enjoyed as a kid. Now I hate that movie.
But it's a good movie.
It's an okay movie. It's a really boring concept. The more you think about it,
Yeah.
that's
I
why
mean
it
it's
never had a sequel. They put it on a cliffhanger like Incredibles, but Incredibles eventually got a sequel.
after
This
after
one
about after about 16 years they
exactly
finally got it.
after about almost a decade and a half, they decided, hey, money. So and then they're
We
unoriginal.
we can milk the crap out of Elastigirl and we didn't even think about it.
Like, dude, come on now. No, they waited for all the kids to grow up first.
That is facts.
um, no, the Astro Boy, I haven't watched that in like a decade though. I remember it ended on a pretty good cliffhanger, but it was just a pretty average movie.
It sounds like the original Avatar movie, like the one with the blue aliens, not that really bad live action of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Oh, that also goes to my list of the top like 5 Cartoon Network shows. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Never
Or no,
watched
like
that.
that was on Nickelodeon. Never mind.
I've never watched anything with Avatar, not even the movie.
The movie you don't need to watch because it's basically the same plot as like the entirety of the cartoon. But honestly, you should watch the cartoon. It is really good. It's a good
I should.
120 episodes.
Oh well, okay, come, bruh. I ain't got time for that shit.
Bruh, you're watching what show are you even watching now? Freaking
I'm watching. I don't even know what the hell. I'm watching nothing right now. I'm recording a podcast. Dumb. No. Uh, right now the only show I'm really watching is The Big Bang Theory, which I'm only watching like so basically my entire life. At like from like 8 to 9, my family would just watch that. Like we'd have nothing to do, so we just watched that for like an hour, and then now I have
Nice.
access to it on HBO Max. So I'm just watching it, and it's still a good fucking show. It's a really good show though, and I'm
Yeah,
like
it's a good show.
I'm set. I think how many seasons are there? 13, 12, 12 or 13.
I don't remember.
Uh, I think it's I think it's 13. I think 13 was the last one. Seasons are in the Big Bang Theory. 12. Okay, I was close enough. I was close enough. um, I'm like midway through 7 right now. And after
So you're
that,
gonna finish it before Charlie finishes Family Guy. Got it.
he's not touching Family Guy again, at least for another year. That's the
No.
thing. Hey, shout out to Charlie for giving us motivation for the podcast. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Shout outs for Charlie
Thank you,
for
man.
helping us start this absolute cancer fest.
And shout out to the most unoriginal name for a podcast ever, the Fitz
Facts.
Podcast.
The Fitz podcast? My
See,
God.
see, it'd be a little better. I'm gonna be honest here. We have like we're running out a little bit of time here. We're running it close to an hour, like 55. Um, it would have been better if you made it an anagram.
Yeah.
If Fitz itself was an anagram, you could have maybe gotten away with it, in my opinion. We went.
Instead, it's just FITS with periods in it that means absolutely nothing because they didn't explain it anywhere in
I didn't even
either of the
realize.
two episodes. Yeah, and within the two episodes that they have on the podcast, we still don't know what fits actually means. It's like at least we came up like with a reason to with our failed experiment of a podcast.
To be fair,
That was
I don't know what. I didn't even realize there were dots in it. Like I didn't even think about that. I just saw
there
fits.
is.
So I was like, I'll pull it
No,
up
there
on
is.
screen right now. I'll throw up the misfits. And I'll throw up the fits. They're the same.
That is facts.
Actually, what does the Misfits podcast even look like? Mits. Fuck, I can't do that right now. I can't type. Yeah. So yeah, that's where our motivation came from. We'll keep it. We'll try our best to keep it consistent with recording these. But yeah. By the way, I'm getting a job soon. Yay!
I'm getting a second job soon whenever I feel like applying to place.
You're not quitting.
No, I'm just gonna ride out baseball season.
Oh, fair enough. That's smart. All right. We'll wrap it up here. This will be a shorter-ish first episode. We'll get more used to the whole feel of a podcast after
Yeah,
this.
we're still doing better than those three nerds. Their longest episode's
Us,
only 47 minutes.
assumingly. So, yeah. Let's see. We got to find what's the most base and cringe thing you've heard all day. Do you think? We'll do this as like an outro thing. We'll say one thing each, and then we'll do our whole outro spiel.
Well, let me just go to Twitter real quick.
You gotta find one real quick.
I gotta.
I'll do mine. Let's see. It wasn't today. It happened earlier this week. So basically, so I've talked about his name multiple times. My friend Carter. He has two piles of scrap metal, aka his two trucks that he owns, that he bought for a unreasonable price that don't run half the time. He got one running, and it's already leaking fuel, which is already a good thing. That's usually that there should be usually way more than that.
Yeah.
And it's just the whole thing. Like I even told my friend he's gonna be really arrogant when he gets his truck back. And it's not as bad as I thought it would be, but it's still bad-ish, kinda. That's my most basic cringe thing. Him thinking his truck is the glorious masterpiece of the world. That's mine. It's not the greatest, but
For mine, it's credit
Whoa.
to the Daily Wire.
and or Jelly Bean, by the way.
Jelly Mid is always based in cringe. So credit to the Daily Wire for this one. We got headline of Kim Kardashian on a mission to protect a woman convicted of brutally beating their 2-year-old daughter to death.
Hold on, can you repeat that, please? Thank you.
Kim Kardashian is on a mission to protect a woman who was convicted of brutally beating the woman's like the woman that Kim Kardashian is trying to protect is convicted of brutally beating their 2-year-old daughter to death.
Like her own 2-year-old daughter.
Yes.
Sounds like the Kardashians. Add that to the reality show and see how that turns.
Well, it's not like the Kardashians itself. It's some other woman that Kim Kardashian is trying to protect.
I know, yeah.
It's like, bruh.
Come on, brother.
Bro.
It's just illogical. It's not even
like
illogical. You're just dumb.
It's trying to think that freaking the Kenosha kid wasn't using protection from a pedophile. It was like clearly he was literally being harassed. He got literal objects thrown at him and was being ran at by an actual convicted sex offender. It's like, okay.
That is a great way to end our first episode. Totally being half sarcastic, but that's besides my point.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck to do an outro. As we said, we're gonna wing it. Don't know when the next episode's gonna be. Don't know when the fuck I'm gonna edit this. It'll probably be a couple days after. Because
Do you feel like doing anything?
today is the Tuesday the 5th of April when we are recording this. Uh, yeah, I ain't got else to say. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Subscribe to Brady on YouTube. Follow our Twitches, everything will be in the description.
Go to his Discord. We may hang out there every once in a while, depending
Yeah,
on what we're feeling that day. But we mostly just sit and do nothing.
we don't ever do anything, and it's not active. And assuming that anyone even gets to this point, nobody's gonna get to this point. I'm gonna be honest. If you get to this point, good fucking job. Uh,
You made it.
you made it, man. Congratulations, round of applause, all that
You-
shit. Good job. You
are
made it.
victory claps.
Yeah. Other than that, I ain't got a lot to say. I'm losing my. This is bad. This is bad. Okay.
And you
Uh,
have to stream after this, don't you?
I won't be talking as much as my stream though. Yeah, go follow me on Twitch, Twitch, etc. Join my Discord. All this shit. You got anything else to say?
No. Besides the fact that if the people that did get this far, just be safe and don't become based in cringe.
That's unoriginal as fuck, but we're gonna keep it. Yeah, I'll see y'all next one.